I have to share with you that I take a bit of a perverse pleasure in knowing that I have owls that hang out everywhere in my garden, and they absolutely just scare the shit out of delivery people that I have deliberately put the notice, placed the order next to my front door. So yes, I've more than once had the argument that about coming near my house. But yeah, so these are my attack owls. The dog in the background is Loki. And yeah, I kind of love it. It's not a bad life. There's some cute little critters, I gotta give them that. Though they will stare a hole through your soul. Oh look, that one just stretched for you. Comical, aren't they? Well, that's the pack going off on something. A neighbor's out in their yard or someone's walking their dog. Alright, so I guess I'll take this opportunity to talk a little more about the exploits and search and rescue stories about Lynn. So, my name is Lynn Parsons. This is my YouTube channel, Auntie Venom. I'd like to welcome you to my life, my stories, my history, and because I've had some interesting exploits. So, I have, okay, the latest on my thoughts is, so I did spend 3 years in Iraq as a cadaver dog handler, and I searched for missing people, mass graves, searched the aftermath of suicide bombings, the aftermath of bombings for our service members, did some searches for evidence, did some historical searches, even worked with internal affairs a few times, the Iraqi army, everything pretty much, the Iraqi people, Iraqi anti-terrorism groups, our special forces, our our just normal, which are not normal, they're all wonderful, and I value these experiences and the fact that I had the opportunity to do things that most people, most women in particular, will never have the opportunity to do. So, that being said, latest memory that has been on my mind, I was at the time, the on-ground supervisor of the Human Remains Detection dog team in Iraq. I was attached to the military working dog kennel. Attached means I was never in the army. I was always a civilian contractor. So I did not, there are distinctions. Like when I first hit the ground in Iraq, I was a GS-15. If you've ever been in the military, this basically means that my pay grade was the same level as a lieutenant colonel. So that caused a lot of confusion and strife, but for the most part, if I found myself in a situation where I was being treated like garbage or they didn't really realize who the hell they were talking to, I could then point out that yes, I was a civilian contract dog handler, which in their mind might mean I was complete lower than dog shit ever. I was technically not. So anyway, here we go. I was always had a go bag prepared. You learn after a while in search and rescue. At this time, I've responded to multiple searches across the world, international searches. I've learned the command structure. I've, you know, it is all, you know, it's a learning process. But to tell you the truth, it's kind of, there were many traps set up along the way. So anyway, so we get this call this one night, and I'm rolled out of bed, and I don't know, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30, and by this time I'm already, I've been having nightmares since, for over a year. I had started having nightmares about the wall being breached and us being overrun by the enemy when I literally lived across the wall in a secret squirrel compound. So, anyway, so I get rolled out of bed. It's time to do this mission, and I've already taken 2 Benadryl, to tell you the truth. So I'm fighting through the Benadryl, got my go bag, we're on the way. I'm at the end of, you know, I have like 20 minutes to be on the flight line. I make the deadline. I'm at BIOP, and, or not BIOP, yeah, I think BIOP. I don't remember all of that, pardon my language. Anyway, so I get to the flight line, and I'm told by, as I'm walking down the flight line, you know, we don't know where you're going. We don't really know where this aircraft came from. We just know you're gonna be in for a good time. So, I'm like, interesting. I mean, you know, military people talk shit. I've heard all kinds of stuff. They, you know, it is what they do. It is the culture. Love them for it. Learned to be that way myself, so I'm a wee bit mean. Please pardon me for that. Anyway, pardon the crooked yield sign. We've had hurricanes. Anyway, so we get to the flight line. I'm walking down the flight line. Got my dog, got my bag. I'm wearing my armored stuff, which is, my God, you know, at the time I'm weighing, I don't know, maybe 120 pounds, 130 at my plumpest. I've been there a while, so I'd whittled down a bit. Anyway, so all of this, I'm off balance. Got a dog attached to my gear on the front to a carabiner, and have been launched by him more than once onto things. I'm very careful how I'm walking up the ramp of the aircraft. So I walk up the ramp of the aircraft. I don't want to step on one of the wheels that they use to push things up. You know, you'll end up on your butt and have scars, and possibly a bone. Not that I have scars to prove that, but anyway. So I get my dog settled. I sit down, and I start looking around, and holy crap, those are Merrell. That's Merrell footwear. That's not that's not normal military footwear. And so anyway, I start looking up. The dog's in a sit position, or in a down position. I've now attached him to the aircraft. And I look around, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm on a SEAL mission. And I kind of, my heart starts pounding, and I look up, and here's one of the personnel recovery guys smiling and waving at me. interesting. So I prepare myself, and so we go in search. The mission continues. We're in search of a missing British journalist, and intel has come in. He's being held prisoner. We do all the military stuff, and which I'm very thankful to have had this opportunity to do. That being said, the experiences of a female contract dog handler are much different than the experiences of a service member. The benefits afterwards, the way that you are treated because it's inevitable, you will develop PTSD if you go into these situations. So anyway, we go looking for this missing British journalist. He's been held for months. He's being fed through a hole in the wall. He's been smart enough to leave a handprint up on the wall, bloody handprint up on the wall, and so anyway, I'm still rolling with him. Like our contract calls, when we are attached to or rolling in a mission, we live as those military people live. We don't really ask questions. We don't bitch about it. We pay attention to their body language, and they do what they tell us to do because it's to our benefit to keep us alive. So, so we'd rolled in Strykers, I believe. No, MRAPs. We'd rolled in MRAPs, which are up armored vehicles, and have really good air conditioning, keeps the dog air conditioned, which is essential for the dog's nose to be able to maintain function, that there be air conditioning. So, at this point, we've been on the mission. I've searched multiple areas. I've been in the shade waiting here, there, and the other. It's been hours, and we've rolled back to a joint Special Forces, Iraqi Special Forces compound. And so I'm seeking out shade. Well, first I go inside, and because I want some air conditioning for my dog. I want to rest. I want to hear the after action reports. I want to contribute to the after action reports, and I want to take part in everything that's going on. And but while I'm in there, there's in those type of compounds, they don't really have cooks. It's not like a normal, you don't really have a chow hall. So anyway, there's all these boxes of vegetables and stuff sitting around, and there's boxes of cantaloupe sitting there, and one of the Navy SEAL guys is like, "Oh, look at the melons, those look like really good melons." And I'm, could be, it's definitely not benign. There's giggling, there's stuff, there's whatever. So I'm like, oh, nope, I'm out. So I get up, and at all times I have a bomb dog handler that is attached to me, that is supposed to have my back, be my security, and make sure that everything that I search has already been previously covered by a bomb dog, so neither myself nor my dog get blown up. So I walk outside, he goes with me. I get inside the MRAP to try to take a nap with the dog, and it's just too hot. Neither one of us can rest. So then I get outside the MRAP and I try to lay in the shade and take a nap with the dog, and neither one of us can rest. It's hot, it's horrible. We're just fidgeting. I'm sort of half-assed because I'm on the concrete. There's no soft places there. There's no, even if you are lucky enough to have female billeting somewhere you go, there's just no comfort level. So anyway, I laying on the concrete. I've got some part of my gear, probably my sleeping bag, propped up under my head as sort of a pillow. A lot of times I just put my head on my dog and slept that way, and that way if he moved, I knew there was stuff stirring around me, so he was an early warning system for me. And I always, at that point, had him attached to my ballistic gear because he was an early warning system, and I didn't want to lose him. He was my best friend. He was my working dog. This was not an issued military dog. This was my dog I had since he was a puppy. Did all the raising, all the training, everything myself. So he was not just an asset. He was a partner. So anyway, I can't rest. End up just giving up on the idea that I'm ever going to rest again. Sitting on the curb of the road. My head is just wilted down. I feel like shit. The dog is wilted. And this 2 whole trucks. If you've ever been there, when there is when people go outside the wire, they come back, they travel in at least 2 or more than 2. So 3, 4, you don't go out alone. So these 2 huge trucks just packed to the gill with Iraqi Special Forces guys roll up, and I'm a blonde woman. I'm sitting on the curb with a red dog, and they literally slam on the brakes in front of me and cause a big commotion, and I'm looking at my bomb dog handler to do something, to make his dog bark, to say something, to stand up, and all he does is giggle and look down. So one of the MRAP guys jumps up behind me and he says, "I'm your husband, right?" And I go, "Damn right." And he starts yelling and gesturing and jumping up and down. But it was not someone that I was supposed to feel safe with, that I was supposed to not feel like he would deliberately lead me into something and get me blown up, And I'd seen this handler, well, I won't go into it. Him and I had very different ideas about how a dog should be treated. And I had multiple issues with this guy, but not once did I ever feel safe. And then later they had the program managers had an issue with me saying, "Look, I do not mind working with Marine dog handlers." And they asked why. You've been training with these guys, you've been, these are the guys, don't you feel like, shouldn't you be working with the, and I said, no, I don't. And honestly, the Marine dog handlers treated me better, were more respectful, and were more professional. Not all the Army handlers are, some of them, my first program, my first kennel manager, man, I wish I had known what a wonderful human being he was. I would have, my God, had him plated in gold, and but some of them absolutely were not. And so this should be, anyway. These are my own opinions. I won't be naming names. These are my stories, my personal working in various places around the world as a cadaver dog handler. Some of them will not be good. But maybe some of you can understand why I have the viewpoints I do now.